CFB Prime, I'm Nino Brown. Big 12 got a new foursome. Tennessee got $8 million fine, got a vacate wins. Sankey's locked till 2028. On this episode of CFB Prime, blow the damn whistle.
Some of you in the room right now, you are where you are, you're giving 60% when you have 120 in you. Why? Because you never made a decision. There's those of you in this room, you already there. Your problem is this is stuff you don't want to give up to go. Listen to me, pound for pound, any agent in the room, pound for pound, motivational speaker, pound for pound, entrepreneur, pound for pound, athlete, pound for pound, weightlifter, pound for pound, whatever you do, I guarantee you when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.
Welcome back to CFB Prime. I am your host, Nino Brown. We got 3 topics that we're going to touch on. We're going to talk about the new Big 12 foursome. Now, I'm not talking dirty talk. I'm going to talk about the 4 horsemen, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF. They just got done with their media day. These guys are the new guys coming in the Big 12. We're just going to touch on what these coaches had to say, what we think is going to happen. You got to understand, these 4 horsemen, freshman 4, whatever you want, the new foursome, whatever you want to call them, they're all coming in there with above 500 records. And they're all going to want to make a statement, make a little noise. All right. BYU coach Kalani Sataki said, this isn't going to be easy. We know that. That's why independence. He says, I find as many as you people that don't play, I want to play them all. I want to play all the big guns. That's what I want to do. That should be the goal, to go in and play everybody that's big in the Big 12. I like that. All right. We're coming right at the meeting. You're putting them on the table and saying, this is what I got. I'm coming to play. I want to win. I like a guy like that. All right. There's a guy in this group I'm not too fond of. I don't really like too much, but we'll get to him a little bit later. I think he's a snake in the grass. But the guy that I really like, I think he's going to lead his program in the right direction, is Houston's Dana Holgorsen. Right? He's coached the Big 12 before 17 years between West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. He knows what it's going to take to win in this type of atmosphere. He knows that they're stepping up to the big boy plate. Right? We're coming here. We're going to get the paper tray. They ain't going to give us the golden plate. They're going to make us work for it, but he knows how to win. So I think he's going to lead his team in a good direction. The excitement around the campus is palatable. Past experiences has taught Holgorsen to keep his players focused, players on more to more day-to-day stuff, okay? It's a new atmosphere. Let's not just get, put the cart before the horse. You got to walk before you can, you got to crawl before you can walk, people. And this is what he's teaching them. We're in a new thing. Let's do the basics first, get that all locked in, and keep going. All right, now the Cougars played 2 Big 12 schools in 2022. And this is why he's telling them work on the day-to-day stuff first. Because they played Kansas and Texas Tech, and they lost both of those games. Gave up 81 points in the process. They're going to have to fix that if they're going to want to be competitive in the Big 12. And not everybody, can pass the litmus test like the Horned Frogs did in year 1, go 7-6 in the first season. Later on win a Big 12 title in 2014. And then, as we've seen last year, being in the Natty in 2022, they didn't win. Obviously, things went sour. But listen, you got to pass the litmus test. Will they go the TCU route? Which team will take the TCU route? I'm not saying go to the Natty in just a few years, but who will have early on success? This is what I want. People in the comments in the chat, let me know who you think out of the four horsemen, freshman 4, the new foursome for the Big 12 will be the most successful. Now, this gentleman was I got nervous. I hit the easy button for Staples hire for Cincinnati. You're going from Luke Fickell to Scott Satterfield. And he says, I think it will take time. There's no question as he steps into a new role at Cincinnati. The only first-year coach that's going to be in the conference, mind you. But we're also in the world where the football world, you don't have a lot of time, so you got to be good now. You got to be good now. Funny that he says you got to be good now. My man, you haven't been good for 5 years. All of a sudden, you're going to be good now? 25-24. You barely had a winning record in 2022 in Louisville, 7-5. The previous year, 6-7. Then you were 4-7. All right, First year, we were 8-5. I understand you were successful in Appalachian State, but we're talking about right now. What have you done for me lately? And 25 and 24 isn't 500 ain't gonna get it. Not in this college football day and age. No, sir, he do. So I don't understand what Scott Satterfield's got in the bag, but whatever he's got, I want a little bit of that. This is the freshman. They call him the freshman foursome or the freshman four, whatever you want to say. I call them the Big 12 foursome. These are the four teams. I want to know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section who you think is going to be most successful. We'll get you. We're gonna get you a little prize pack, guys, in the comments. Let's travel down to another thing I got to talk about. It's a little. At first, the $8 million fine to the Tennessee Vols, I thought was a slap on the hand. Okay, because they avoided a bowl ban. All right, all these infractions, 200 individual infractions, right, against former coach Jeremy Pruitt. 6 year show, so they're under the microscope. 6 year show. Okay, he can't even coach. If he coaches in 6 years, you hire him. He's suspended for the first year. That's just the way it works, right? They had to vacate the wins. They got scholarship reductions, plus all the penalties for whatever he did that time. We'll get into that in a little bit, right? Now they're able to avoid the bowl ban. That is absolutely huge, okay? Because they have a very successful program. And now I think the powers that be understood that maybe Hypo and the people that are in charge or in powers at Tennessee now had nothing to do with this. So we'll just hit them with a big money fine, and we're going to take all the dubs away. All the wins, you got to vacate them. They come back to us. Kind of like what they did to Reggie, except they took Reggie's hardware, which everybody knows I still believe he needs to have it back, right? These are some big fines. I mean, this is probably one of the bigger fines that the NCAA has given. $8 million fine. They were fined 3% of the football budget. That was the highest fine before. It's 2% of the football budget. Again, 2020 Gator Bowl that they had to vacate, right? So 11 wins from the 2019-2020 season. They have to vacate. Gone. See you later. And Mr. Pruitt, he's has his hands. Apparently, from whatever I've read, and people are starting to come to fruition, it's coming out more on all social media aspects. He's been doing this for a long time. All right, he been playing players. I just released, I believe it was yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, or more. It even been this morning that he paid Donnell Washington before he had committed to Georgia. He got paid. His agent, right, Pruitt's agent, stated that he been doing this since the Alabama days, and he says he's got receipts to show you, bank statements if you need proof. Like, it's just what he went down. Like, two players who enrolled at Tennessee, right, received direct payment from Pruitt or his wife. One player's family received $7,600 to pay for down payments for car rental, along with $500 a month on at least 25 different occasions. Pruitt also paid for medical procedure for players' mothers to have done, plus giving them additional $300 to help out with gas. Like, this has just been something that this man has done since he came up. And finally, for lack of a better word, the poo hit the fan, okay? I'm going to keep going back to the thing. They avoided a bowl ban. Enormous, okay? Problem is, the reason why they have to vacate those games is because there were players who participated in at least 25 to 23 of those games. So that were paid, ahead of time. They were paid for Pruitt to come to that school. Like, this is why you got whacked. This is why a lot of people thought the band was coming to the bowl. They skated, okay? Now, all games from that time, all stats, all that stuff's gone. Those players get whacked. But Heupel, he's good to go. He gets to take his team now and go. Now, he does get hit, right? They lost scholarships reduced by 16 for the next 2 seasons, which stinks for Heupel. But at least you ain't getting banned from the bowl. At least you got a chance to go win a natty, right? And now, I believe, let me get me wrong here, they get 12 total scholarships short over the next 3, and then it's 16 for the first 2, and then 12 over the next 3 seasons. So they get formed back after the first 2. Okay, like I mentioned before, 6-year show, which means that he is not allowed to coach for 6 years. And if he does coach or someone hires him, he's getting suspended for a year. Okay. There's nothing you can do. You have to eat that. Um, he was briefly tied to Alabama as defensive coordinator, but they passed on him for former Nick Saban assistant Kevin Steele. So speaks volumes. All right. Tennessee will lose 36 official visits because of this is what one of the punishments is because of the sanctions. 4 per season. It's all spanned out over the time. Um, there's 10 regular season games in which they have to select that they cannot host visits, including 4 SEC games. Unofficial visits have been reduced to 40 weeks over the next five years, and the staff will lose 28 total weeks of recruiting, communication, and in-person evaluation. This These guys got whacked for something this gentleman did. Now, Hyper came in and they changed the whole scheme, right? And I'm happy for it. The whole landscape, the culture, everything's good. Now, these kids in this program are dealing with something that this gentleman has been doing for so long. Finally, he got caught. Like I said, the $8 million in the beginning I thought was just a little slap on the wrist. Taking the dubs away, cutting their recruitment, cutting all the visits. That's going to sting for a little bit. To close out this show, we're going to talk about it's SEC Media Day, right? Media, I believe it's week 3, 4. Today's the first day. Shout out to Crane and Company. They're out there doing their thing. They just locked up SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey's locked in for 2028 until 2028. Now, this guy has been doing his thing for the SEC. Okay, he had a stint before coming to the SEC where he was a Southland Conference from 1996 to 2001. All right, but he is now and has been the SEC Commissioner, and he has been doing great things for the SEC, and they've only been going in the right direction. Um, they have emerged as the nation's most stable and successful athletic conference under his guidance. He was instrumental in the development of the new 12-team college football structure that begins in 2024. He also negotiated the addition of Texas and Oklahoma to the conference and is a leader in the rapidly evolving name, image, and likeness landscape. So he's in the NIL deal. This dude is him in the commissioner's scheme. Like you ain't messing with Shanky, okay? His new contract was approved by the conference president, the chancellors. He's worked in an administrative role in the SEC since Slavy hired him in 2002. So a year after the Southland Conference, he's been there. Now he's going to have a chance to be there for 27, almost 30 years. This gentleman has got the SEC in a landscape and in a direction to be a super conference. They keep sucking these good teams in. Shout out Greg Shanky. You're locked into 2028. I love it. SEC keeps growing. Media Days is going to be some gems. It's already popping off. I'm Nino Brown. It's the CFB Prime. Shh. Blow the damn whistle.